fills. They're what take your playing from Arizona sky. That sounds fine. Burning in your eyes. But you can take it from that to you look at me and babe, I want to catch on fire. That's what you can do. You can fill up your sound with these little riffs and fills. And they sound amazing. But the problem is, it can be difficult to take that information and know when exactly to execute it. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to do riffs and fills like that. And then we're going to talk about when exactly you can play those so that it sounds amazing. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get comfortable with our chords. Now I picked Always Remember Us This Way to demonstrate because it's a great song that has only 4 chords. A minor, F, which is F, A, and C, C, which is C, E, and G, and then G, which is G, B, and D. So get comfortable with those shapes. If you don't know how to play inversions yet, that's okay. I'm probably gonna use inversions from time to time, so if you see my hands do something crazy, don't worry. This is the shape you need to be making for what we're about to do. So the next thing is you need to figure out how to do just sort of like a basic fill. So we're gonna start with this one. Looks fancy, I can tell you, it's not so bad. So if we're playing an A minor chord, we're gonna use A, B, and C. So the first 3 notes that fall in that chord shape. And we're just gonna roll through them. The Arizona sky. Now, it's easier said than done. It does take some practice to get this coordination. So you can roll through like this. But the idea is you land here with your 1, your 3, and your 5. But at some point, your 2 finger moves in to the equation and then releases so that your 3 can take over. So we do this. And you can do that on every single chord. You look at me, babe, I want to catch on fire. Already your playing is starting to sound more fancy. So now we're gonna kind of take this to the next level. And so what you'll need to know how to do is this. So it's the same notes, but you're starting here. We call this a sus2. So we get rid of this 3rd note and we play the 2nd one. And then you're gonna walk up and then back down. And all the while, I'm holding this 5 finger down. Arizona sky. So watch where I throw this. Burning in your eyes. So this is something to notice. So I've shown you how to do this. And you can practice this on every one of these chords. And like I said, it'll take some practice. But then when you use this is important. I like to use these at the end of the measure. So, because it sounds too busy at the beginning. But if I go, the Arizona sky, I do my little simple one there. Watch, at the end. Burning in your eyes. 2, 3, 4. So this is where we're going to the math portion of this lesson. I apologize, because I hate math, but it's going to be so helpful for you. So this song is in 4/4 time, which means we can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have that many beats. That's not going to change. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that cycle that we just went through to play all 4 chords 4 times each took us through like the first phrase, and we're just going to keep that information in the back burner because we're going to return to it in a moment. So we're looking at how to do fills when we're learning out when to do them, and this is an important thing to keep in mind is music is divided into measures, and so in each of these measures, that's where you're going to fill out 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a measure. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another measure. So in this song, after every 4 measures, it feels like the statement kind of ends. And that's why when we come off of it, you look, this is the 3rd one, at me and babe, I want to catch on fire. 2, 3, da 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 da. It feels like the statement sort of starts over. So that's something to keep in mind. So we're going to come back to that. So we're going to go back to our counting for just a moment so that we can really feel confident on playing these little runs at the right time. So you've got your 4 beats, but we can sort of subdivide a little bit. So like when you subdivide a property, you have a certain piece of land, and then you just divide it into like lots. So the size of the land doesn't change, but what you have inside that set space is sort of divided up differently. So that's what we're doing here. We have our 4 beats, but we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, because that's going to help us to know when we can play our runs. So we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And notice my main chord is happening on all the numbers, and then we have this sort of and in between. And so we're going to subdivide one more time. And we're going to go 1 E and A, 2 E and A. And I really want you to count out loud with me. I know it's awkward and weird and you might feel silly. I always do, but just it's going to all make sense. Watch this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Now watch this. 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Did you notice how each of those fill notes was able to fit on one of those counts that we subdivided into? So it becomes so much more obvious where and how to play these notes to create these fills. So after a while, it's going to become seamless, and you're not even going to think about the timing. But at the beginning, it can feel like, oh, I got these notes. When do I play them? I'm not getting this. So play your fills at the end of your bar. That's step 1. Arizona sky, E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, eyes, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And you can just practice that way. Me and babe, I want to catch on fire. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, do-do-do-do-do. And that's how you can know when to fit in these little fills and runs. Now, earlier I talked about like the phrase, how we have 4 beats per measure. And then when we have 4 of those measures or bars, those 2 words mean the same thing, by the way, measure and bar, same thing. At the end of a 4-bar section, we have what we call like a phrase. So it's like this musical statement we're making. And when you sing the song, it feels really obvious. And that, at the end of that phrase, that's where it feels like really complimentary to add more flair and pizzazz to your song. So I would use runs sparingly at the beginning. And then at the end of each 4-bar phrase, and this really works well in pop music, especially in 4/4 time, that's when you want to get kind of creative, because it feels like there's this space there that needs to be filled. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Arizona sky, I'm going to keep it simple. Burning in your eyes. I just did a little roll there. You look at me, and babe, I want to catch on fire. 1 E and a, here it is. 3 E and a, 4 E and a. See how like natural and lovely that felt? Now maybe I'll add one a little sooner here. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So I got a little bit creative there, and I colored outside of the lines that I just showed you to draw inside of this lesson, but that's going to come for you. The point I was trying to make is these runs, they sound so complicated. And when you try to play them at first, when you're building that coordination, they can feel really complicated. But when you break it down and you think about, it's just a little roll. You're just using notes that fit under the chord that you're playing. And when you subdivide the beats and you think 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, suddenly you can visualize, you can see exactly where the spots are that you can add extra notes. So these chords, this is our foundation. And everything else, okay, no, let's not do foundation, let's do cake, because I love cake. This is the cake. And anything else, that's the icing. So, yeah, I don't really know how far I was going to be able to take that cake metaphor, but I'm going to let that go. Cake is one of my favorite things in the world. Piano and cake and unicorns. But I'm getting off topic. What I'm trying to tell you is use them sparingly, get creative, and make this into your own thing. But use these little things that we've talked about today about where you can place these, how you can subdivide, what you can add in to sort of guide your process. Now there's one more thing, it might blow your minds a little bit, that I wanted to leave you with. So this is especially for more of those advanced players that have been comfortable with chording. And once you have practiced these things and feel really good with your runs, it's gonna blow your mind. All of the notes of the scale that you are playing in, or the key that you're playing in, are fair game when it comes to playing your little riffs and runs. So what I mean is this. We are in the key of A minor, which is relative to C. So that means all of the white notes are fair game, because those are the notes that belong to the scale. Those are the ingredients for our cake. So we're going to be playing just like we did. And you can use these little fills that we looked at, but you can also, oh, that sounded pretty. Oops, play your chords right. But do you see? I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing here. I'm just picking any note. That's a white key because it belongs to the scale. So that's a really good exercise to practice because it's like you have to trust. You have to trust that you're going to make good sounds. You're going to make bad sounds. I'm just going to tell you right now. But when you do that, you're like ears and body, your ears and your body remember, and they're like, no, we don't like that sound, and it'll help you not to do it again. But why I'm talking about this is because you could be playing burning in your eyes. Here's maybe a fancier. You look at me and babe, I want to catch on fire. Right? I just picked some notes and I used at the end of that 4-bar phrase and it sounded pretty cool. And so, with some practice, I could refine that and come up with what I really, really like. But the point of this lesson was to just inspire you, show you that you can play riffs and fills and runs and all of the things that you'd like to make your playing sound amazing. So I've got a chord chart here for you on the song if you want to practice it and sing along and play. Otherwise, have fun exploring these concepts. If you have questions, comment below, and happy practicing.